Okay. So in page Resh Mem Aleph now, middle of explaining what the of Midas and Netzach. So the first shot in Netzach, the first point in Netzach, what the first thing he said was Netzach is just like an extension, a shimu, not extension, impression. The impression of the Ava, which has that feel, the way it's expressed in Chomesh Kolayim, that is Netzach. Then he said the second one. Second Pshat Netzach is that even B'Shas Tefillah Gufa, it doesn't have the full Ava. So we'll start again. Second Pshat, which is page Rishon Aleph, 3 lines from the top. So the way, in other words, it's not real. It's never really developed a real feeling of love. It's only Nitzachon Levad. And it's a class of Chayes Begilah. I know what does it mean. Someone who is unable to create a feeling of a real ava, even davening. In ava bichlal, he goes into this little detail to explain. In ava midrash v'lev, kash yesh netzalot and begil le'aznik av. Kash ye'nen netzalot and mas ein begil. He can love and he cannot love. Agam shesh tziva alava. It's like a mitzvah alava, which goes over after. It's a mitzvah after somebody can. Well, you do that tziva lisbain is like alava. Can't command someone to feel a certain way. Feeling something comes from within the person. So what is the mitzvah? What's the commandment? To lisbainness. The emes achash is one of the good stuff. It's when someone can call it because. Shebichlal in mechne midas so all that's something we learn various times. Intellect and emotions are in a state of ill cause and effect. You have the cause, the ilos automatically creates the all, which is the av. But if his seichel doesn't have that ability, is some person whose mind is not I'll say mature enough, strong enough to create feeling. To reach the state of Ava, not everybody can. You have to be a little madriga. Everybody can reach this state of emotion of Ava only if he needs to go according to his nature. And a person cannot jump on a certain jump above his level, which is impossible for him. The result says the motion, so it's an expression. It's not bad what it says here. So nefesh can only help you jump from the roof on the floor to the floor. It can't help you jump the other way. It's just, if you just don't have the capacity to do it, nothing will help you because that's not your madrig. So all this is just ways to express the point that Ava is not something that comes. It's so easy. So you have to be in a certain state to reach the Ava. That's bichlal. Everybody, but chen is damen. Then even the people who do reach Ava is damen shemach v'sazman lo yochol l'asar begila b'lev. Shekel zaken shavu. Then there's some people do or have the capacity to reach love, but not always. Not all times are equal. Sometimes he has the ability, and sometimes he doesn't. So that have to explain, have to get into the explanation how Ava happens. How does a person reach the level of Ava? It's still his brain. So not everybody has that power to be his brain, not everybody has that madriga, it's not all money. But even then he says, when it comes to Midas and Netza, which is the expression of the Ava, and שמקום יכול כנס ניצוחן ועסקם חוסר בכיוסת של יומות, של סומות, לילמד תורי כל היום תום לקיים ים מספר פועל. שהעסקם ובתורי שאין בזה שום חייס כלל. Because even though you cannot reach the high level of Ava, the high feeling of Ava as a result of his Vainanos, but the low level, and that's, I mean, the decision that I must do what the Eibster wants from me. That's they call that nitzachon. Means that the decision that he is strongly the commitment. Ask him the commitment that he must do it. That is there. So that's why netzach is the lower expression of Ava. It's not the actual feeling, but the commitment is fully there. So that's commitment. So according to that understanding, that's explained. And netzach is the anaf of Ava. Ava is the actual feeling. Netzach is only the ultimate expression of the Ava. The fact that he committed to do. Let's say Avodas Hashem to be Mekayim mitzvahs and learn Torah. Not you don't have the feeling, but you have the commitment. Now we said that hoy, that's netzach. Netzach is anaf chesed. What is hoy for anaf hayur? Hoy is an expression of here. Shiur, see if it goes back. What is shiur? A big machmas is bunny one with and stuff. Earlier we spoke about shiur. He said, he explained, he articulated two general types of his beinenus, of contemplation and meditation that brings a person to the state of shiur. One is that he contemplates how the Eibishter is a lofty, a great is, and that creates a feeling of awe. And the other is that he contemplates that the Eibishter is near him. In Avayin Nitzav Olav. All this about shiur. Calls there again. So just like I said about Ava, similar to shiur. Calls the Daka Vesat feeling. This type of feeling, this type of isbainus only happens when it's at fila. Hashem is bainim because the oz yachol lifel iro bitol b'kinis nafshel likus. What about the rest of the day? Lo yachol lamet mes iro kaliyik. Al koin tzach lasses eskem v'nafshel shaloi lasses neged l'tzenis book. So that's not also commitment, but that's the other type of commitment. The first commitment was liumat teiro kamit. The other commitment has to be shaloi lasses neged l'tzenis book. Not to do anything against Chinese board, release color him Tom from Sumera, Shana Fayut. Venika, Bishkina say door of Lloyd Netzach, that's called Hoyd not Netzach. Commotion Nika ask and my Samitas Banafa as canal. So one is called Netzach, one is called Hoyd. The Chem Netzach is the Anafa Chesed and Hoyd is enough a year. שעצם עניין העיר גם כן למעלה מבחינת הסוג הגמור. So he brings in another point. He brings in a point which I think earlier he didn't stress that. שעצם עניין העיר גם כן למעלה מבחינת הסוג הגמור. Even era, which is a result of his bonus, is not a saga gemora. You call in your name sayir, his bonus the name of loss. Both of these types of contemplation of his bonus. How number one, at the Eibishter is lofty and removed. And the Oisha in some other man, lawyer boy is a saga more of a nefesh myself. Even in the level of chesed, in the level of Arab, this bonus of era is more removed than this bonus of Arab. That's right. That is why the commitment, which is a result of that type of hisbonenus, is called R'Dovid. R'Dovid means submission, admission. You submit, you give yourself over. So it's less of a, it's less seichelic, because that, the way he says it here, that is bonus that brings here is more, less intellectual than Av. Yes, then, so just like
I'm sorry, but the mice is easier to achieve, no?
Nice. Yeah, obviously, yeah, logically speaking, yeah. But, yeah, look, it's lower. It's a lower madriga. Yeah, but it's not. Maybe that's why it's easier to achieve, because it's, you don't need that much intellectual. You don't need that much intellectual understanding. Maybe.
Well, so why here is saying that is higher? It's because as you said, like بتخيلوا يرخيموا يرخيموا تخيلوا, the first is from Ira Zuta, and then no بتخيلوا يرخيموا يرخيموا تخيلوا. So that's basically there's the steps going up. So the first level is the Ira Tata. So I'm saying here is Mr. is saying it a little differently than what is a classic information that we have in Tanya and all this.
No, the two types of ego. Okay, now you go into a different discussion. Yeah, it's not. I think it's a little different. You're right. All right. Okay, but right now, I was talking about Hoid. That Hoid is less seichel. Okay, it's like a lower level. That's what's easier to achieve. It's a lower level because the bonus of Ava is a higher level. So that's why the result is called Netzach. Netzach, when you say Netzach, which is the Russian victory, in other words, let's translate it to English. Victory is Netzach. Hoid is submission. So victory is something that you have more control over. Submission means you give yourself, it's less yourself, less seichel. That's the point it's making. Okay. I don't know. Okay, going back. So what he said earlier, when he got to Ava, he said two things in that.
So victory, total control, right?
What?
Victory means total control.
Yeah, control of himself. Ask him
Right.
Yeah. I mean, sure, this submission is also control. It's a different type of control. Control means he gives himself away. He loses.
Losing yourself.
Yeah. Upon him, so when he gets to Netzach, he said two types of Netzach. One of the Netzach was the level of Ava that we have after davening, when we don't have the full Isbaimus. That's what's called Netzach. And then the second shot in Netzach was that even during davening, you can't reach the actual Ava. So now when you get to Hoid, it says the same thing. For the first shot in Hoid was what happens after davening. Mesha Kolayeh. It's Prinat Somera. Yes, just like we said in Netzach, same thing in Hoid. It's the same thing it's about. For someone who doesn't have the capacity that his seichel should reach the full era. Just like this by era, that his bonus doesn't affect his feeling. Oh, ich mache gar gemacht was als Mann, schön als Mann go, mir love the era is got it. Komm und doch da. Dus when we say do, machen wir emes, ach, ich wollte noch mal da, wir sagen so, nicht so mato. Yeah, the shames okay, no my dilemmas. So that's a lower level. Because it doesn't reach the ultimate understanding. It just knows it. It's with pain. And the my dilemmas. You can't still have a tachlis. I feel it's a country of a second. So he knows. He does it in practical life. It's some have a tachlis. I feel it's a country of a second. Even like the Russian tiny perikalit, even this a country of a second. Ach, ich hätte der Schawein nicht so wolle, weil er maße und mal bitte Maxel betten so brings the Russian von davening of Yam Leroy. Maße no Maxel, mal bitte. Betten so lieber, halt so the visa okay. Ja, so double long with technically. So really can't do anything against the Epstein. So that's the law. So really in Heidi also said these two parts. Yeah, then there's a third. Yes, one is this colors bound family. These two are nothing. These two branches of midas. Netzach and Hoi, that it's all good for. There's colors, the combination. Shenas and Netzach, Nasa, Anaf, Hayom, Eda, Anaf, sometimes Netzach, which originally is the result of the Avo, that becomes Ir. And Hoi becomes Avo. How's that work? Netzach, Anaf, Hayom, Mashachem, it means that Chazak so merah. Okay. He's using the words of Netzach. Okay. To describe it is in a very strong state of not giving up. Victory is not giving up. When it comes to Sumera, you need more, in a way, sometimes you need more than Mitzochen part, the actions, the strength not to give in. The Shalom is a Chazak Yesod was there. So now I'm not the Chazak take of my. He says a statement here which we can relate to, but it's an interesting point he's making. The Umas, the power of the Umas is more when it comes to Sumera. In other words, the Umas entices to do something wrong more than Chazak B'Yes. The Umas has a stronger energy, maybe, to entice you to do something, to do wrong things, to do wrong. So the matter to fight it, it needs stronger itself. למה נגד חייזה בתקו מוי? אין, שכל הדברים שנאפשרים לי. לא דמיסה ומחמדוסון, ללושן in חז"ל. נאפשר שלא דם, גז לבעראי, שנאפשר שלא דמיסה ומחמדוסון, לא יעסק בצדק, כי ראית לגמרי. He should not do it, but he should hold himself in. The reason he has the taiva is because he lacks the Yiras Shamayim. If he would really reach the level of his bonus, reach the year, either the first is bonus or the second of Mashalamata Kamalamailo, the fact that he was near in its Avala, so in other words, the year is lacking. It's lacking the part of era. That because it's lacking the era, that then automatically he has a hard time over it's that we made a chofetz misavel. That's what it's saying. The famous Even Ezel says, "Loisachmait." What is loisachmait? What do you mean he shouldn't desire? It's a nature. He desires it. It's a marshal. It's saver. I don't know. What does it say? Eved or kafet bas melech. In other words, that a person who knows it's not he's not shaykh to it. It's a bas melech. She's beautiful, etc. But he doesn't even have the drive because it's not his level. So the another thing that is a much to explain how a person can make lois sachman. Shouldn't. I'm just using it just here. The same thing. He says if you have the real era, either is minus baremus, mashlamat, lo yamisave, lo yachofetz misave class. It just don't even have the time. Now was okay. So in order to help the person overcome the taiva, so it's not enough to have the submission. You need the netzach. It's gabel, it's sabek, it should have the strength and the power to overcome, to control his spirit, to control his desire. So here we see this cows. Here we see these colors are the Netzach. We said earlier that the function of Netzach is to strengthen himself in Kiyum, in Mitzvah, in Asay Toiv. Because of his Kalus, and Netzach also creates a situation of Sumera. Be'emes, the truth is, be'emes l'natzech es atzach l'sumera shel kosher b'yesed tzach zegil elim b'yesed. The truth is to overcome, to control himself, to withhold himself, hold himself in from inner Sumera is very hard. It's a very big challenge. That's why we need elim b'yesed. We need to reach a very higher level of early. That in a way explains that my love for person was Yiras Hashem of Ava. Like we said earlier, the year is the result of these bonus atzim soid. The Eibush himself is so removed from us that we have to be in awe of him. Or mitzvah shenimtza l'mata k'men l'mayla, but ken ish b'echol t'rib nitzach l'k'men l'somar agam. ונמצא שנעשה נצח בין השעיר. So this is an example to describe how Netzach can be the Netzach, which is originally a feeling which is a result of Ava, but here in our case it becomes a Nafayir. It functions as a means to achieve the opposite, the ira, the somera. What is the meaning of the nafava? Hoid is the beetle. Hoid is the beetle. The hoidah. So as that ava means a feeling of loss. As hoid work with ava. So that explains on the word the tiny peg design. So explain that according to what it says in Tiny Peg Design. The Indian, what does the Alter Rebbe say Tiny Peg Design and Design? If a person is just not capable of reaching that level of his brain, knows the Irish Shalei, maybe no Chachmo Bina, Glosai Sabach, Glocamic Lash. Al Kain Yos, Shtich, Leon Nash, Kol Chalevish Kol Chai, Lidav Glokal. In Tanya, where he talks about the person, he says, look, he doesn't, this, in a way, this is the type, one of the parts of Tanya that we can relate to more, because he says, what happens if a person, he reads, he learns, he contemplates, but it just doesn't bring him a real feelings of Ava Ve'ir. So what does he say there? Kach Yos. No, the fact that he knows in his mind that the Eibush deserves to be loved, he realizes that's the proper intellectual conclusion. Because in his mind he understands how great Eibush is, he comes to the conclusion. It's almost like a formula in his mind that Eibush is so great, so deserves to be loved. I actually can't reach that feeling. I don't have either my heart is not open enough, my mind can't reach the actual feeling of love, but I can understand in my mind. That's the famous line, which means it's not, it doesn't achieve the actual feeling of love, but you understand that he deserves to be loved. That's what it says. In other words, you understand the you already reached the level, you have an understanding, the greatness, but it's not enough to make you actually feel. Explain. It says it's not even Avon of Asog. It's not real understanding and comprehension. Yos means he deserves it. I realize that he deserves it. I don't really have full understanding. It's the Lashon in Tanya is Lidovek Likol Ba'ir called Vek is in Ava. See, so in this Lashon in Tanya, he shows us how, which is really the Indian of Hoidos. admission, not something that you really understand. You just admit that this is they admit that he is right. You admit that the Eibshter deserves to be loved. So that itself, it says, what is it? It deserves to be loved. So we see a submission, the level of height can bring not a feeling maybe, but the commitment and the recognition that the Eibshter deserves to be loved. So we see a height brings up. זהו גם כן מה שאומרים. מה שאנו אומרים, מועידים אנחנו לא שאתה השם אלוקינו, say מועידים אנחנו לא שאתה השם אלוקינו. So מועידים is הידור, השם אלוקינו. הנה השם אלוקינו, מה שקורה בקרישמה, השם אלוקינו, שזה בבחינת האב, כלומר זה גם עשה אלוקיך. What do we say in Krishma? Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. V'ahavta Esav Hashem Elokecha. Because we know Hashem Elokeinu, the Eibshter is our Elokeinu. B'meila v'ahavta Hashem Elokecha. So that brings Ava. What do we say? Moedim anach lo shato Hashem Elokeinu. Nimtza sheyesh b'iskalus netzach. Okay. Okay. Sorry, the Nimtza is already sequel of the whole thing. So we see in that expression, Moedim Shat Hashem Elokeinu, that we admit that Hashem Elokeinu, you deserve to be loved. That's how you love Shat. Just said before in Tanya. So we see a height can be enough av. So to summarize the last discussion, it shows how first he explains was av and ira was netzach and height. So netzach, there's height, there can be also a combination of both netzach and height.
What masik means? Maskana?
What's that? Yeah, Rosh Maskana. The masik means like it finishes.
Conclude, yeah, okay.
Concludes. Nimtzo. So what do we see from these two, from this discussion that we just had? Sheyesh b'iskalus netzach and nefach. So we see this in netzach and also these columns. So similarly, we find us on the mile in the nimshal and the sphere on the mile. But basically, this is columns. Netzach v'oid. We say the mile also the union of his colors of netzach v'oid. Netzach in the shiur v'oid anafav. In other words, we just said when you get to Netzach, right, two types of scholars have. Netzach can bring a somera, and Hoyt can make ta'avo. So we see these two types of scholars Lamaila also, in spheres Lamaila. Umashakosu, and it's in the psuk. So number one is possible, Yemincha Havai and Dori Bakoyach. Mincha Havai Tiratzayit. That's what it says in Shir Sayam. So what's Pshat? In Mincha Nedori, who is Gavos van Mitzachna Loi Belomas. Hashem in Alag Gil Rikus. In Mincha Nedori Bakoyach means he's strong. What does it mean? Gavos and Mitzachna Loi Belomas. Hashem in Alag Gil Rikus. That's the strength, the victory over the oil, over the enemy who's opposing the Rikus. Wo Pchinas Amalshinim Amekatim Shat Sham Yisrael Akim Atar Mitzah Shalem. Means, I think it says like it's in the Doshim, that you have the Malshinim, you have the bad angels, the Mekatrigim, the prosecutors, that they claim against Eden, and Shabbos Sol came to me, they are last man, they are matter, shall not say Chatzman Rashaboy, Nasa, I'm going to matter, it's not so, it's in Mincha Nedori. So we see that Yemincha is sorry. Mincha is the tzkara yamin, but in the way of nedor, it's menatzeach, which is in a way the concept of we see here how from the yamin, from netzach, you bring the opposite, the nitzach. The same as shekotam vayez nitz from al god. That's another passage. Let me see what the passage is. the pasuk on the shiur resolution. Interesting. The pasuk talks about the milchama of the Eibishter in Goyim. So Vayez Nitzchon of God, Nitzchon here is like the blood. The blood spritzes on my clothing. Very visual image of the Nitzchon. Nitzchon is the union of overpowering them. So that's the Min Hashem Ador Bakoyach. Min Hashem Teratzoy. That's that. So he says that that's a result. Sha'od Menatzech al Rashubat. Because we control our evil, so the Eibishter L'mayla, Min Hashem Ador Bakoyach. Min Hashem Teratzoy. וכשאין לו עצמם למטה. זה נעשה הקטע ביז שמתגב על האום הזה. אז יש גם עצמם מצד לגוס. למה נעשה לצורך יסח הזה? Like it's two levels in the way the Eibishter, so to speak, overpowers the forces of evil. The Dore Bakoyach is the first step. That's a result of our avodah. Tiratzoyev is a level that's not a result of avodah. It's above avodah. Sheina Lasman. Shaz Nasa Kedim Yisrael Zabal Omas Zabal Yisrael Satzim Tzadal Likus La'abed Neged Mitzach Niyetza Chaza. Kayadua Shaman Naged Misnaged B'Yisa Kain Yam Tzad HaKadosh Mitzkav Mitzach B'Yisa Lashma Dal Tzorei B'Gam. When there is a special strength on the side of the opposition of the Naged of the Tzad HaLu'umah, so the Eibishter strengthens the positive side. La'ashmil Atzes, to destroy the enemy. Because of Avai Kagiba Yetzik Kamish Melcham Yisrael Kina. Calls up Nes Netzach Hanafayir. Let's see, but a few psukim here, but it's talking very beremes. It didn't express it. The general, I think the general point is making here that we see Yimincha. Yimincha is Tzad Yimin, which is Netzach. And what does Yimincha do? The Dori Bakoyach and Teratzoyev. It breaks the Lumas. It's Sumerah. So we see from Netzach, calls up, let's Netzach Hanafayir. So from Netzach, which is Tzad Ha'ava, which is Tzad of Chesed, that creates a breaking the enemy, which is really more of a era, more of a judgment. So we see in this psukim, Halamayla, we also have the union of the Iskalus of Netzach and Gvur. It also has ear. The union, so there's no explanation. You just said the general. We find this the expression of nitzach the hero is destroying the enemy Sumerah as a result of Yimin. Right? Anaf Ava Lamayla. Where do we find that Hoid is Anaf Ava? Shamaraz Ava Gemara Barachas Apasik V'Hoid says in Pasuk Gemara and the Pasuk says in Pasuk Atzeres and Eitzach V'Hoid says the Gemara V'Hoid Zumel Chemes Nachle Arm. Famous story that you learn in Pashas Shlach. The story that the mountains got one into the other and they destroyed the enemies. Like Rashi says over there, the Eden didn't even know that the mountains, the enemies, the Sheva Umas wanted to fight the Eden. They were sitting in caves, and on the other side of the mountain went into the caves, and that destroyed the enemies. Like I said, some cloud. And the Eden didn't even know about it. Just only later, when they saw the blood, the Rashi says of the Shlach, then they discovered. Because Umachmas Havas Hamakom Lisoil, Lachin also bad and Floyd Shalem is a cloud. In Cain of Chinas Ava. So that's a result of David's Ava. Mikomok Ambals and Verhoids the Milchemis Nachal. But what is this Ava? It's Hoid. Nimtza Shahoid Anach Ava. Okay, so really, when you talk, it's more like doesn't explain the concept. It just brings, we see that the concept of netzach, tiratz oyev, and the dori bakoyach, netzach, the destruction of the enemy is a result of, is a function of netzach, and the hoid says the result of avas Hashem. So you see the ava is connected to hoid. So these are two interesting examples how we find the Maila in the Netzach, but Maila also these scholars. So what do we see from this entire discussion? They call the scholars are not calling the Klom Mechavet Zolos. How they say Nasach is base. Now I take this back already to the beginning. How do we get to this scholar situation? We have the midas themselves. You have shisha midas. Each midah is its own. The way it's above Atzilus, the way it's in Toyu, each midah is its own full force. Like we said in the beginning of the discussion, Chesed midah, oil sheina oil, Gvor fakel, Gam Shemayim l'zakabein. That's the way each midah is on its own. But then in Elam Atzilus and in Tikkun over there, there's the skalos midas. So that is why it's based Gvulei Alachson, like the 12 Gvulei Alachson means the borders of the Alachsen. I put up a picture of it last time. So there's the concept of these columns. So you have the base was Alachsen and Atzilus. Then there's something called Shvatim. The base Shvatim. That's Nelam Abri. Why? Was Shevet is Lashon Hamshach. Shevet means something dog, because there's one of the comets, Lamaila, one of the comets in the heavenly bodies is called Koichva the Shovit. We know, according to some explanation, there's a concept called Halley's Comet. It's a comet that moves through the sky. So movement is called shovit. So shavit is Meloshin movement. I'm shovit.
It's not shooting stars?
What?
Shooting stars?
Yeah, shooting stars. Right. Shooting star. It means it moves. So the Shvatim took the base with the Alachs, the scholars of the Midas, the way it's not Zilus, and they drew it down in Teilam Abriya. So it base Baka the Briya. So that took down the step. That's the, like I said in the beginning of the Mama, the base Baka, it says by the Yamshel Shloim, there was the base Baka, the 12 cows that the Yamshel Shloim was sitting in them. Said, okay, that spiritually, that's the base Shvatim, base Baka the Briya. In Cain, Nimshal Zel, Matam and Shamas Salt. So Bemela, because it's in my way, then it also reaches us in our world, the Shamas. So Bemela, that is how the Indian Mitzvah Tofresh Elef said, now we understand how they reach the point of 600,000. Start with 6. So 6 can turn into 12 because based on Allah, eventually it's spread. The combination is so intertwined so much that we reach the number of 600,000. Because they have the chasodim that great make grow, make it grow. We can add some, I made some shisha. So it means themselves, like we said, a 6. So when you combine it of 10, 60, pam, bay, not a shisha. 6 מידס, פעם גימל 6 אלף, פעם ד' 6 אלף, פעם ה' נעשה מצוות תפרישה. So the original number of 600,000, I take the 6 meters, and it multiplied by 10 5 times, which is the Hei Chasodim. There's a concept of Hei Chasodim. So that's how we reach the number of 600,000. In the beginning of the Bible, he has the question, what's so special about the number 600,000? That's after we describe in the mind with all kinds of meters. The scalus is the ultimate scalus is when the meters are combined and multiplied 5 times to 10. So it doesn't go back more specifically how to answer. So we just basically go answers what is the concept of the 600,000.
What does it mean, Hey Chasodim Amagdilim? What does it mean?
So it says in Kabbalah, there's Hey Gvuas Ne Chasodim. There's the Chesed and Gvura both have five levels. So that's why we have in Megashmis, every hand, the right and the left hand has 5 fingers. That's the Echasodim, which sometimes Chassidus explains the Echasodim means connected to 5 meters of Chesed to Hoy. But in our case, it says that the Echasodim means this is the fact that we multiply the 5 times into 10. Now, Magdili means its function is to make it grow, to develop, to expand. It's a common expression in Kabbalah for Chasadim Magdili. But the truth is, I don't remember anyone in my mind they explain like a Chassidish explanation for the Chasadim Magdili means. You know what? I'll try to Magdilim. If you look at the Levi, it's like almost every page you have Hey Chasad Magdil. It's a very common concept in Kabbalah that you multiply it 5 times. But why? Okay, it says also by 5, like I said, because we just now when you spoke about the Midas, you only said Chesed Gvura first, Netzach Hoy. He didn't even bring his Soid in because his Soid is considered already outside. He said is like the communicating to the outside. The 5, in a way, the midas are only number 5. Male, I think that's really the number 5 of Echasadim like words. But it's a topic we can try to understand what it means.
It doesn't explain also there's why Pam Shenio. So was this 60 times 6 times 10, 60, and then again times 10, apparently.
That's 5 times. The whole point. That's the whole point. We're talking about 5 times. You multiply it by 10 5 times, and I get Hey Chasadim. Pam Shniyah, Pam Shlishis, Pam Revis, now Hamish. It's 5 times. That's open. Hey Chasadim. We multiply it by 10 5 times. That's Hey Chasadim Magbil. But the question is why 5? So that is still.
Once again, 60 times 5 is 300. But no, it's no. I think it's saying that.
No. That's not times
I think
5.
it's saying that Shishim becomes 10, 60 times. Another times 10 is 600.
We multiply it by 10 5 times. 6 times 10 is 60. Then we multiply 60 by 10, 600. 600 by 10, 6,000. 6,000 by 10 is 60,000. 6,000 by 10 is 600,000. 5, we multiplied by 10 5 times. That's the Eichasod. Now, it's a nice numeric combination. The question is, what is the meaning? Why 5? Like you said, why 5 times? By 10, that's
so you said it's because the 5 meters.
Exactly.
Not Yesod.
Exactly, but why by 10? That's obvious why by 10, because 10 is the full phase, the full 10 spheres. Okay. In other words, the numeric part here we can explain a little bit, but we need maybe a better understanding why 5. All right, we'll try to do it next when we get to it second time. All right, we'll start tomorrow. The mind.
Yeah.
Shkoyach.